In March, I said one number would decide Commonwealth Bank: the margin. I said it needed to recover 10 to 15 basis points. It recovered 2. Here's the part that bothers me. The Reserve Bank did exactly what I assumed. Rates went up. The margin did not follow. By the end of this video, you will understand where that money went.
Before we do though, quick disclaimer. Nothing in this video is financial advice. I'm not a licensed advisor. This is purely educational. Do your own research. Talk to a professional if you need to. All right, let's go.
Back in March, I covered Commonwealth Bank in full. I will link that video below. Here is exactly what I said then. The franchise was excellent. The price was extreme. And the whole bull case rested on one condition. I said the margin had to recover in the second half by 10 to 15 basis points. If it did, earnings would surprise to the upside. A basis point is 1/100th of 1%. The margin is the spread the bank earns on the money it lends. For a bank, it is the whole business. At the half year, that margin was 2.04%. I scored the bank 6 out of 10. Premium franchise, extreme valuation risk. And I said this August result would test 3 things: the margin, business lending, cost discipline. Today, I am grading all 3. If you have not met this company, 20 seconds. Commonwealth Bank is Australia's largest bank. It takes in deposits and writes loans. It earns the gap between the two. That gap is the margin. Now, the result. Operating income was $30.2 billion, up 6.2%. Cash profit was $10.98 billion, up 7.1%. Return on equity reached 14%. That is a 6-year high. The dividend rose 20 cents to $5.05, fully franked. On the face of it, a good year. So let me grade my own 3 tests. Business lending held. Cost discipline held. Costs grew slower than income. The margin missed. 2 of the 3 held. The one the whole thesis rested on did not. Let me be precise about the miss. I said the margin needed to reach roughly 2.14%. It reached 2.06. That is 2 basis points of recovery. I asked for 10 to 15. And across the full year, the margin actually went backwards, down 3 basis points to 2.05%. One thing I want to be fair about. Commonwealth Bank never promised this. The bank publishes no earnings forecast at all. That 2.14 was my bar, not theirs. The bank itself calls margins stable, excluding some low-margin balance sheet growth. On its own numbers, that is defensible. But I set a specific test on camera in March, and on that test, this missed. So if the margin fell, where did 7% profit growth come from? Volume. The bank simply sold more. Business lending grew 13%. That is 1.3 times the market. Home lending grew 7%. That is roughly in line with the market. Commonwealth Bank says it grew at or above the market in all 5 core categories. It calls that a first in 15 years for any major Australian bank. That is a genuine achievement. But notice what kind of achievement it is. The bank sold more. It did not charge more. The quality of this result is mixed. Start with the good. Return on equity at 14% is the best in 6 years. Costs fell to 45.5% of income. That improved 20 basis points. Now the crack. The bad debt charge in the second half was $469 million. In the first half, it was $319 million. That is up 47%, half on half. In dollar terms, this is still small for a bank this size. I want to be clear about that. But the direction changed. And direction is what you watch first. So here is the answer to the question I opened with. Where did the money go? The Reserve Bank raised the cash rate to 4.35% in May, exactly as I assumed in March. It has held there since. So the rate rise reached the bank. It just did not reach the margin. Commonwealth Bank's own numbers show why. Home loan pricing cost 4 basis points. That is competition, a lag on the cash rate, and a shift to fixed loans. Higher rates arrived at the front door. Competition took much of it before it reached the bottom line. This is the part I got wrong in March. I treated the moat and the pricing power as the same thing. This year separated them. The bank kept its customers. It could not keep the spread.
Now the price. The result landed this Wednesday. The market barely moved. The shares closed down 0.7% on the day. Commonwealth Bank now trades on roughly 26 times earnings. In March, it was about 29 times, so it did get cheaper. But look at how. The share price fell about 3% over that period. Earnings per share rose 7%. So the multiple came down mostly because earnings caught up, not because the market repriced the stock. Against growth, the picture is still stretched. Price to earnings to growth is about 4.3 times. 1 times is considered fair value. One more thing on capital. The capital buffer fell 30 basis points to 12%. The regulator's floor is 10.25, so there is still real headroom. But 77% of profit went out as dividends, and the billion-dollar buyback expired with none of it spent this year.
3 things moved in my assessment. The moat came down 0.5 point. Not because customers left, because a rate rise arrived and produced 2 basis points. Share power intact, pricing power tested. The balance sheet came down 0.5 point. Capital is being distributed, not rebuilt. The runway went up 0.5 point. Business banking is now 41% of group profit. That is a second engine, and this year it proved itself. Now, let me be honest about my own risk ranking. In March, I listed 5 risks. I ranked deposit competition 5th. It turned out to be the one that mattered. Second, credit quality is starting to turn. Home loan arrears sit at 0.73%. That is loans 90 or more days behind. Small, but rising. Third, the mortgage fraud investigation. I ranked that the top risk in March. 5 months later, there is no penalty and no resolution. It is also not named or costed anywhere in these accounts. I want to be careful here. Silence is not the same as resolution. It simply means we still do not know. So where does that leave both sides? The bull case. Volume growth is real and above the market. Returns on equity are the best in 6 years, and the multiple is falling. The bear case? Pricing power just failed a live test. Credit is turning, early but clearly. In March, the sector traded near 15 times earnings. The bank is still well clear of that. Here is how I would put it. A good bank got better at selling, and no better at pricing. So I reran the full scorecard. Commonwealth Bank scores 6.0 out of 10. That is exactly what it scored in March, and that surprised me. But look underneath. Moat down 0.5 point. Balance sheet down 0.5 point. Runway up 0.5 point. Valuation up 0.5 point. 4 moves. They cancel exactly. Same score, different bank. And the verdict did change. In March, I called it extreme valuation risk. Today, I would call it pricing power tested, because the valuation actually improved a little, And the thing I assumed was safe turned out to be the question. 3 things I would watch from here. First, and this is your new one number, home loan arrears at 0.73%. The bad debt charge already rose 47% in the second half. Arrears tell you whether that continues. Second, the mortgage fraud investigation. Still unresolved, still not costed. Third, the half-year result in February. The cash rate has sat at 4.35 since May. The margin could not lift in that environment. So, when can it? So that is where the money went. Competition took much of it before it reached the margin. Commonwealth Bank is still a premium franchise. It just proved this year that it cannot always price like one. If this kind of framework-based ASX analysis is useful to you, subscribing is the easiest way to make sure you see each new video. One company, one framework, one scorecard every week. If you want the original case, I broke down Commonwealth Bank back in March. That one is on the left. And CSL, the cheapest it has been in a decade, is on the right. Subscribe if you want the ASX broken down one company, one framework, one scorecard at a time. I will see you in the next one.